Hi, and welcome to this week's edition of the Las Vegas Advisor Weekly Update with Anthony and Andrew. Today is Wednesday, November 23rd, and it's Thanksgiving week.
Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving in Vegas.
Yeah. So what goes on in Las Vegas for Thanksgiving?
You know, it's not really so much about Thanksgiving as it is about a 4-day weekend.
Right.
And, you know, every 4-day weekend in Vegas, it really doesn't matter. If Groundhog Day was a 4-day weekend, they get 300,000 people. And, you know, that's pretty much what's going to happen. People coming back still after the pandemic, you know, excited for the 4-day weekend in Vegas. So it's going to be crazy here. All of the restaurants are going to have specials, you know, good deals. I mean, not necessarily good deals, but good meals. Yeah. You know, I mean, you can go for a gourmet Thanksgiving dinner, or you can go down and dirty and get, you know, your turkey and stuffing somewhere. But you can find a Thanksgiving meal in Vegas tomorrow, I guarantee it.
Well, I think you said it best. Good meals, not necessarily good deals.
Not necessarily.
But it's here in Vegas, and it's going to be 300,000 people coming to town.
Give or take.
So that's going to be a wild weekend in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I stay in. I cook, man. I get a turkey. I cook at home. I don't go out and eat in the casinos. But those who are here, they can't cook at home, so they'll eat out.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, you get a lot. Most people, you think you just be at home with your family, but if you're coming to Vegas for Thanksgiving, maybe it's party time.
If you're a Vegas guy, Thanksgiving's party time.
All right. And with the holiday season coming, it is time for the LVA catalog.
Yes, I mean this is something we do every year, and we put our holiday gift catalog together, where we sell all of our products, and some of them at good discounts for the holidays. Others are brand new. It's a great opportunity for people to, if you know gamblers, you can buy them books. You know, you can buy them gifts. It's a good way to fill a stocking. You know, we've got 2 new ones coming. One that people have been waiting for forever. It's called The Ultimate Report from James Grosjean.
Oh yeah, and
we've talked about Grosjean before here. I mean, this is the guy that's considered the number 1 AP in the world right now. By AP, that stands for Advantage Player.
Okay.
He's the guy that goes out and beats casinos. And during the pandemic, he wrote this book that he calls The Ultimate Report, and it's about playing the carny games. You know what the carny games are?
Kind of like 3-card Monte.
Poker. 3-card poker, you know, a 3-card Monte. You find that in the streets of New York. But, but I mean, like 3-card poker, Let It Ride, Ultimate Texas Hold'em, Mississippi Stud. And the thing about these games is that people like to play them because they're fun. I mean, you know how many new games they bring out every year. And only a few make it through, only the best ones, only the ones that are the most fun to play. And typically these games have edges of about 3 or 4% if you play them right. But people are playing them at over 20% disadvantage to the casino.
Right, okay.
They don't understand the strategies.
It's the same thing as like playing video poker and not picking the right cards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's even more pronounced in these table games. That's why the casinos love them, because the players play them so poorly. But in the Ultimate Report, he's got all the basic strategies on how to play all these games perfectly. And then the second new book that we've got coming out, it's called The High-Low Card Counting System, a complete guide to index play. Now, this is for hardcore blackjack people.
Okay.
I mean, this is people that are really into blackjack. Hall of Famer, Blackjack Hall of Famer Don Schlesinger years ago came up with something called the Illustrious 18.
Okay.
Which was, the 18 important plays you need to understand when you're counting cards, when to deviate from basic strategy. And this new book takes you through 40 more and 50 more and everything else. So this is for, it's really everybody can get something out of it, but this one's for hardcore blackjack players. A lot of people have been waiting for this.
All right. So if you're a hardcore blackjacker or know a blackjack enthusiast, this might be a great gift.
Yeah. But I mean, the main thing is a lot of these, we've got all of our books in there. We've got our hiking books in there. We've got our mob books in there. We've got a book on Yahtzee. I mean, we've got novels in there. Take a look at it. We'll show you how to link onto it. It's all online. You can flip the pages and check it out. You know what, Andrew, I want to add one more thing when we're talking about gifts. And this is a new book that's just come out by a guy named Steve Forty.
Sure.
And it's called Gambling Collectibles. And this is not a book that we publish. So I'm only talking about it because I think it's unique.
Right.
It's the kind of book that if you're really into gambling, you would like to have. Now, it's a $250 book. All right, so this is not cheap.
Right.
But it's also 650 pages with over 2,600 color photographs from Steve Forty, who might just be the GOAT when it comes down to gambling history and knowing the game and playing the games and everything else. Steve is a complete expert on all facets of gambling, sleight of hand expert, cheating expert. And this is just one beautiful. I'm going to show it to you.
Yeah, let's take a look at this book.
This bad boy.
Yeah.
This thing is a monster.
Yeah, this is
And
cool.
I just think it's one of the greatest books. It's an encyclopedia of gambling.
Yeah.
So anybody who's really looking for something different, unique, that you won't find anywhere else, it's called Gambling Collectibles from 40.
Yeah, that's a really beautiful book, and it's got like the history of craps. I didn't realize craps was a 2,000-plus-year-old game.
Oh yeah, I mean everything you want to know about just about anything in gambling, you're going to find in this thing. It's really something.
All right, so Anthony, so you call Steve Forte the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Tell us what makes him, in your mind, the greatest of all time.
Well, I mean, some of the things we've already talked about, but
Right.
there's just like in everything else, who's the GOAT in basketball, who's the GOAT in baseball? It's Grosjean or Forte.
Okay.
And we talked about James Grosjean earlier. And both of these guys are just absolutely amazing in their breadth of knowledge about gambling. But see, one of the things that makes these two guys different, there's a lot of experts out there, and there's a lot of, people who understand but didn't necessarily play. And both of these guys are big players.
Yeah.
And I mean, they really made what we call laydowns. They got the money down. And in fact, in a book that we've done, which is in the catalog, called The Man with $100,000 Breasts,
Okay.
which we can talk more about next week. There's a chapter about one of Steve's plays. It's called The Cold Deck Crew.
Okay.
And we'll talk more about that particular book.
All right.
And things next week. But right now, I'm just saying this is an interesting one for anybody who really has a collection. You want to have this book.
All right, cool. And then next week we'll hear about the Cold Deck Crew.
Correct.
All right. The World Cup soccer tournament is underway. Are you going to bet it, Anthony?
I bet the World Cup. I bet soccer
Okay.
a lot. And here's the funny thing. Everyone talks about soccer being boring, right? You don't want to watch soccer. It's boring. If you don't have a bet, soccer can be pretty boring. But I'm telling you, soccer is one of the best games to gamble on for sports betting, for fun. And the reason is because there's so few goals scored that whatever you bet, you're always betting one team by half a goal, or you're betting a total by 2, over under 2, or over under 2.5. And anything can happen throughout the entire match. Every score is so important. And if you're sitting, let's say the score is tied, 1-1, and you've bet under 2.5. You watch that game, you're riveted to that game because one more score and you lose.
Right.
And if they can get through to the end, you win.
Yeah.
And there's so much of that in soccer. People don't understand how much fun soccer is to bet.
All right. Well, I might have to try. I've never bet soccer before, so maybe I might have to try. I know the big game, USA versus England, is coming up.
Well, yeah. And I mean, that's the other thing is you want to watch soccer in a British pub.
Okay,
I mean,
you
no
do.
matter where you are in the United States, but in Vegas,
Yeah.
of course, our favorite British pub is the Crown and Anchor.
Yeah,
You
we've
know,
shot a lot of stuff there.
Yeah, one on Tropicana, one on Spring Mountain. So that's this Friday, the 25th, November 25th. And they've got it circled on their calendar. And this place is going to be jammed.
Nice.
The game starts at 11 a.m. If you're in town and you want to see a scene, you want to go check it out at either Crown and Anchor. And but you got to get there, man. You better get there an hour early or more. You better get there by 9:30.
Okay.
Because otherwise, you might not even be able to get through the doors.
Little morning drinking for you there.
Yeah, United States against England, man, and a couple of beers after Thanksgiving. It's going to be a lot of fun. One more thing too about the Crown and Anchor, they've upped their game. They've increased the payouts on their video poker.
Okay.
So where they used
Good.
to have 6-5 bonus poker, they've upped that to 7-5.
All
That's
right.
a 98% game, which is not bad for a bar.
So people aren't going to give you as hard of a time now for playing that game.
No, they won't, like they always do every time we play the 6-5 game there.
Yeah.
They've also, in their Keno game, they've got 4-card Keno, which a lot of Keno players like, where you could only bet a quarter a card. Now you can bet 2 a card. And to me, that's not a big deal, but it's a big deal to Keno players.
I
to
like
me, that
Keno.
means-
Yeah.
To me, that means you can lose more money and faster.
Well, that's true, but also when you get that hit, then it's,
Right.
you know.
So it's
Little bit
it's
more.
a big deal to Keno players,
Yeah.
and there's a better gamble at the Crown now. So, go catch some soccer there. The tournament runs through the middle of December.
All right, you heard it here. And thank you to Art, who always takes good care of us at the Crown and Eggs.
Absolutely.
Next up, we got our Survivor update. How many people are left in the Survivor, Anthony?
Survivor 74 remain.
All right, so only a few got knocked out.
12. They dropped.
Okay.
They dropped 12 last week.
All right.
But this is the big. This is the week that separates the men from the boys from who's left, because you've got to bet twice this week.
Oh, wow.
So you bet the regular weekend game, you have to pick a team, but you also have to pick a team out of the six teams playing on Thanksgiving Day.
Okay.
Now, this is where it gets screwy, because a lot of people don't think about that. Most of these players probably did, but maybe they want a better team that they've already bet. And Survivor, you can only use them once.
Right, it gets tougher and tougher.
Yeah.
Because you use up the bets.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting next week. We'll see how many remain after having to make 2 bets this week.
And in this week's really fun Jackpot of the Week, we hear from Mary V. Or as my voice to text would say, Mary the Fifth. My husband and I traveled to Vegas from Florida to celebrate my birthday. We were slogging through our last night and way down in terms of money and on the fun meter. So we went to Ellis Island for the LVA #1 top 10 value, the $9.99 steak dinner. I love that steak dinner. It's really good. It's
best deal in town.
It really is a good deal. After enjoying our meal, we decided to stick around and then play some slots, and then moved on to video poker, and that's when the comeback began, with my husband hitting 4 deuces, all on the same draw for $250. There you go.
Yeah.
On the way back to our hotel, we decided to stop at Casino Royale and notice the first 20 is on us, the refunded offer. I played the slots, and after losing my 20, I got the 20 refund and then some, and then I decided to join my husband playing video poker. I lost at Jacks or Better, and he encouraged me to switch to deuces bonus. After losing about 15 hands, I got an ace and a 10 of clubs. I kept them, then got Jack, Queen, King of clubs on my first royal flush ever. That's fantastic. We ended the trip on a big positive, both in terms of money and fun. One of the first things I said after winning was, we got to send this to the Las Vegas Advisor. How cool is that?
Yeah, and they did. Well, deuces on the draw is always fun.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what they got at Ellis Island.
That's fantastic.
Right? The games they were playing Deuces Wild bonus, a version of Deuces Wild. The Ellis game was 96.22. The Casino Royale game was a little better at 97.36. All right, now, one problem there. Holding the ace and the 10 is a no-no.
Yeah, I was thinking that as I was reading it. That's
Right.
funny.
In most games, in almost all games, an ace and a 10 is not the correct hold.
Right.
You want
to just hold ace alone.
You would hold in Deuces Wild. In Deuces, you wouldn't hold the ace.
Okay.
At all. So you wouldn't hold the ace alone in this game. You would have a redraw in this game.
Okay.
All right. So usually you hold the ace alone. In Deuces game, you would redraw.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. But the ace 10 is almost always a wrong play. Not a horribly wrong play, but it's always a wrong play. But so what?
Yeah,
Right?
well, there's got to be something to it with the variance. Like
Yeah.
you make the wrong play, but wow,
Hey, she got her royal. But another thing that I want to talk to you about this one is the Casino Royale deal.
Okay.
Which is a great deal. I mean, it is the only casino really in town that has a loss rebate deal like this.
Mm-hmm.
That, when you sign up, you lose your first 20, they give you 20 back. You find this in a bar a lot, but not so much in a casino. Well, not almost anywhere in a casino. Then they have an ongoing thing. That for every 100 you lose, you get another 20 back.
Oh, really?
Now, that's not the greatest thing that, you want people to go run and do and lose 100 and get 20 back.
Well,
but if you're playing and playing,
anyway, yeah.
let's say you're playing and you're a slot player and, it's running through you, you're at least going to get 20 back for every 100 you lose. And, hey, give them credit for that. That's a great, that's a good give back.
Yeah, and Casino Royale is actually kind of a fun place. They got a $2.50 all beef hot dog there. They got a White Castle there.
You got the long dog, man. The long dog.
Yeah.
So it's okay. Yeah, they got White Castle in there for those of you from the Midwest or anyone who's never had a slider. You go get a White Castle. So it's a good little give back center strip.
That's really cool. And, I also have to say, my girlfriend just hit her first royal flush ever as well. So first royal flushes are, I guess, going around. That's it for this week. Go ahead, like, share, subscribe. If you hit the subscribe button, it helps us with the algorithm. Same with the commenting. So thank you guys for doing that. We are almost at 11,000 subscribers. So that's it for this week. We'll see you next week.
Happy Thanksgiving.